and welcome to episode 8 of the Yarn Geek podcast. My name is Denise, and you can find me on Ravelry as Canary Song, and on Instagram I am Kitty231. This is a knitting and general crafting podcast. I feel like every one of my intros are a little bit different. And here comes Lucy. On Ravelry we have a Ravelry group called the Yarn Geek Podcast where I post all my show notes. So any questions you have about what I showed today, you can find the show notes there. I have another finished object this week. I'm recording like a few days early because I'm going away for a week, so I need to get this recorded and out before I leave, because then I'm not gonna have time later. Lucy's over there. I don't know if she wants to join us. So I finished my 5th pair of socks for the box of socks KAL, and these are the broad ripple socks. It's a free pattern on Knitty, and I started these back in February. I saw Sue of the Legacy Knits podcast. She was knitting on these with Pants Cry, but I think it was a different colorway. And this is the blue, I think purple haze colorway. I think this one I started knitting first, and I've made several mistakes with the yarn overs. I don't know. I had a hard time memorizing the pattern at first. So to get these little ripples, you have to do like a yarn over and then 2 center decreases, and then you knit 3 stitches, then you do another yarn over. And for some reason sometimes I would forget and do knit 2 and then a yarn over, so the yarn overs are a little off. But I don't know, it's not a big deal to me anyway. The second sock, once I got to the leg, I pretty much once I got to the foot, I pretty much flew by and I finished these. The pattern said to knit these in DK, and I don't have any DK sock. In any DK with nylon in it, so I wasn't gonna knit that. And the cuff, I did a 2x2 rib. In the pattern it said to actually do the broad ripple pattern as the cuff, but I didn't like how it looked, and I was afraid that it wouldn't stay up on my foot, considering that these are knit pretty long. The heel, I'm not sure what heel it is because it's not listed on the pattern. I'm gonna guess it's Eye of Partridge, but I'm not sure. So yeah, and these are knit on 56 stitches because I think it accounted for it being knit on DK, which I didn't do. But I did knit these using US 2, which my normal sock is US 1. So yeah, that's 5 socks now for the box of socks KAL. And I took a photo and I posted on Instagram of all my socks so far in the box. That I haven't done that yet, and it just really makes me want to knit more socks to fill up the box. And then I was just looking at what I've knit so far, and I realized that I've only knit Patton's Core or Knit Pick socks, and I definitely want to branch out and knit some other stuff. So I was just looking at what I have. Regia and Army and Carlos. I think this is the Fall Night colorway. They don't really have colorways on the ball, but I think when I purchased this yarn online, it said that it was Fall Night. So, and I also started these socks because Mina of the Knitting X podcast is doing a S-Pack expat yarn knit along for the next 2 months. And since, you know, I think Regia is a German yarn, so that would definitely count. So the purpose of the KAL is that you knit a project using yarn from somewhere else. So Regia definitely counts since it's from Germany, I believe. And so yeah, I cast these on maybe like 2 nights ago, and I just been crazy. This is just the first sock. So I knit this on one night, and then I knit this much yesterday because I just couldn't stop. This is very addicting just to see all the pattern changes. And I decided to do an afterthought heel because I haven't done a plain stockinette sock since last year, because I know I've been on a pattern sock kick lately, but I didn't want to do anything crazy with this. I just wanted to see how the design looks. So I'm doing afterthought heel, so I'm using a waist yarn. So I measured to how long I want the leg for, and then I put a contrasting scrap yarn. So I use this yellow yarn, and then I just, you know, knit over that, and I just keep knitting until I'm ready to, you know, decrease for the toe, and then Kitchener the toe, and then I will go back and add the heel later. Yeah, I think knitting like socks like this is just really, it's really quick for me. I think it's really quick for me because you're not thinking about, okay, when do I add the heel, when, you know, doing the heel turn and the flap, and then decreasing the gut sits. You're not really thinking about that stuff. You're just knitting until you're ready to decrease for the toe. I'm sorry, my voice is a little scratchy today again. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do the heel in I think this red color would be nice. This is a Drops Fable, and these don't have they have numbers as colorway. So 106 is the colorway. I think it would look good with this. So yeah, I've been crazily knitting on this, and I feel like I've become a faster sock knitter, because I remember the last stockinette sock I knit was in December, and I felt like that took me much longer than just knitting this. So yeah, this is gonna count for those 2 KALs. And I think I've been having this obsession with KALs lately, because I finished you know, these socks, and I finished the socks I made last week, and then I was just thinking about, okay, what can I knit next that fits a KAL that I know is going on, and I don't know, it just makes it more fun, and then you try to fit your project or your yarn to, you know, some knit along that's going on out there. And because of that, I also casted another pair of socks. So these are knit on, I cast these on, these are Pans Croix FX in the Clover colorway. I just barely started the pattern. And I'm doing the Dumbledore's Christmas Stockings, which is also a pattern by Erica Luder. I think this is the 3rd pattern that I'm starting to knit of hers this year, and she just has really good patterns. And I mean, a lot of them are free, and they're well written and straightforward. So if you need a sock pattern, just, you know, go and check her out. So I'm knitting these for the Knitting Broomstick podcast is doing a Harry Potter long as well this month. And that's Julie from the Knitting Broomstick. I've heard a few people talk about her, so I finally this past week checked her out, and she's really funny, and she seems to be crazy about socks, which is always good, and she shows a lot of sock yarn. So yeah, I enjoy her podcast, and I'm, you know, looking forward to checking out some of her old episodes. So I also have been knitting on the 2 shawls I have on the needles right now. So I feel like I've been good this week, that I've been, you know, putting a little bit time on every project I have. So first one is I worked on the Luca shawl last night. It doesn't look like I progressed a lot, but I did like 4 rows, and that took me almost 2 hours. I think I was watching the last episode of the Grocery Girls, and I think that was almost 2 hours long. So that's how long I knit on this. So these two are, I did 2 increase rows. So you know, this is definitely gonna start growing. And then once I finish the increase rows, I'm gonna start chart B. And if you haven't seen it before, see if I can find the label. This is woven lace, fine lace. So it's an alpaca merino blend, and it's really soft, extremely soft. And I don't know if you guys know that we're extending the deadline of the knit along until the end of May, because it seems like, well, from what the other 2 people I'm co-hosting with said, that, you know, who are much further along than me, this is gonna grow a lot, and then we're gonna have a ton of stitches on there, and you know, 1 row is gonna take a very long time. And I'm knitting these on higher sharps. I feel like higher sharps are probably my favorite needles right now. So tips are really nice. I think the first few socks I knit with higher sharps, I stabbed myself a lot. But I think I kind of changed the way I'm knitting, so now I'm not touching, you know, the tip of it that much, because I was getting like calluses on the tip of my fingers because I kept touching it like that. And I think I'm not doing that anymore, so it's definitely easier to knit with. And the weighting for rain shawl, it doesn't look like. So I showed you guys last week. I did the first lace panel. So it looks pretty cool. I was like, when I cast these on, I was like, I couldn't wait to get to it because I wanted to see how the color looks. And I'm knitting this with Hedgehog Fibers Single Merino. This is Spell and Hush are the colorways. So this is where I was last week, and it doesn't look like I knit that much. But, you know, right now I'm at like just knitting garter stitch. Trying to get to the next panel, the next lace panel, and I'm almost there. I think I'm like 4 rows away. And then I start another lace section, so I can't wait to get to that part. I'm really happy with my yarn choices in this, because the purple, I really like that the dark purple is not such a, it's a tonal, so you can see that. I'm really happy with that choice. I'm definitely glad I didn't go with the darker purple that I originally was thinking about. And then, so this is the lace panel. And I don't know if I did this. I haven't checked other people's work to see if I did the panel correctly. I mean, I think it looks fine to me, so whatever. It's like, I don't know. I used to be like crazy that if I knit something, I want it to be perfect, and if I messed up, I would rip back. But you know, unless it's something that's really obvious, I'm not gonna go back and fix it. Like the Luca shawl, I ripped out when I first cast it on, because I cast on at some point I had double the amount of stitches that were required, and that's just crazy. So I'm definitely going to, you know, try and fix it or rip back. But if it's something like if I'm off a stitch, I'm just gonna keep going, because I try to fix it as I go along, because like really there's no point in stressing out about it, you know? This is knitting, it's supposed to be fun. And right now it's living in my you sew a you bag. I got this bag a few months ago, but I wasn't using it because I've been knitting mostly socks, and so I've been using it as a storage. But now that I'm knitting a larger shawl, I cleared it out and I put this in. I really love this bag. It's just so well made. Like the lining, is really sturdy, and it really it stands up on its own. But I can put it in my bag, and I know it's gonna squish down, and I know that nothing's gonna poke out of it. So if I have a needle, nothing is gonna poke out. And even the inside fabric is like gorgeous. Like this fabric can be on the outside, and it matches the outside. It has little tigers on it, and it even comes with like a little pouch on the side. So you should definitely check out this shop if you haven't. Here's the little tag. It's cute. It comes with this little sheep. And I also put 2 squares in my blanket. I think now I'm going on this trip, I'm gonna be in the bus for a few hours. I might add a few squares on my way there, on my way back. So I added, this is a scrap from my broad ripple sock, and then this is a square from the Fine and Dandy socks that I ripped out, which is using yarn that I dyed myself. I really like how the square looks. So yeah, I want to work on these more. I feel like when I watch a podcast, people have like baskets full of minis, and I don't. But other people's blankets are much larger than mine's already. So I think I'm gonna use whatever little scraps I have and then get more. I signed up for a mini skein swap, so I'm looking forward to getting more scrap yarn for that. Yeah, that's all of my WIP so far. So yeah, I'm participating in 3 KALs. Like I said, that's the Luca KAL, which is the one that I'm co-hosting with Once Upon a Corgi and Mayweather Carlinegie. And then the S-Pack Yarn KAL, and then from Mina, the Knitting S-Pack, and then the Harry Potter Long from the Knitting Broomstick. And if you're wondering about that you want to join a knit along, but you don't know where to sign up or where even to look, you can go to Mina's forum on Ravelry, the Knitting Expat forum, and there's a list that gets updated every month or every once in a while of all the knit alongs that are going on right now or up and coming, so you can see if you can join any. So for my acquisitions, I told you guys last week I went to Brooklyn General, and I forgot to mention these 2 skeins I got there. So I knew they had a sale, and before I went there, I was checking their website, just seeing what they had, and I was really interested in buying some sport weight yarn because I don't have any, and I've been wanting to knit one of Molly's of the Homespun House's shawls, and I think they're both in sport weight. So then I found they had Malabrigo Arroyo, and I found some few colorways on the website that I was interested in, and then once I got there, I was looking at their Arroyo section, and on the bottom they had this colorway. So this is in their Volcan colorway, which means volcano in Spanish. And so this is a lesson in the importance of getting the same dye lot, because I picked up one of these skeins, and then I picked another one up that was the same colorway, but different dye lots. And this one was definitely the reds are definitely much more vibrant than in the other skein I was holding, and I could only find one of these in the same dye lot. So I was getting kind of nervous, and I literally pulled out every single skein they had on the shelf. And I really thought that, you know, the ladies working there were going to be like, oh, can I help you? Or, you know, what are you doing? You're pulling out everything. But I don't know, they weren't paying attention to what I was doing. And finally, all the way in the back, I found one that was the same dye lot, so I got it. So yeah, sometimes when I go to the stores, I forget about dye lots, just because a lot of times I just buy one skein, but since I knew that the shawl I had in mind required two, so I really wanted it to be, you know, matching, and it might not matter so much at the end once you see the finished product, but I want, you know, the skeins to match. I really love the reds in here, and this is a really good name for it. You know, and the greens. This is definitely a skein I don't have in my stash, so I'm trying to branch out and not just buy purple or pink or something. And then when I got home, I looked at some products, you know, knitted up, and it looks really beautiful. So I'm looking forward to knitting one of her shawls. I'm not sure yet which one. And since I haven't purchased any of them yet, I think I'm probably gonna hold out on casting this on, since, you know, I have other stuff that other patterns I've already purchased that I would like to cast on first. And another acquisition, which has nothing to do with knitting, but it is something geeky. Yay! My Star Wars Blu-ray came in the mail. I got it on Tuesday, the day it came out, and I was like religiously looking at my mailbox to when it was gonna come, and it finally came at 8 o'clock at night. It was like the latest that the mail has ever come. And I haven't watched it yet because I'm gonna wait until I get to my friend's house, because you know, I'm going to visit my friend in Cleveland, and she hasn't seen The Force Awakens because her husband has never seen a Star Wars movie, and and you know, since she has a 2-year-old, it's hard to find a babysitter, and she really didn't want to go, you know, see this movie, and he's not gonna know what is going on. So, you know, I told her I got on Blu-ray, so she's looking forward to watching it. And I'm not sure if her husband's gonna watch. Maybe he probably is gonna just ask me questions. I don't think we have the time to watch the whole original trilogy, just because he works late and there's only, you know, only a limited amount of time that we're gonna have to watch movies when I'm there. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about my upcoming trip. So I'm going to Cleveland for a week. My best friend Gina, which I've spoken about on this podcast before, lives there. We grew up together, basically. We met when we were in 6th grade, and then, you know, for college she went out to Pennsylvania and then met her husband, and so she hasn't moved back to New York since then. But we tried to regularly, you know, see each other, maybe, you know, twice a year if possible. And right now her husband, you know, they moved out to Ohio because of her husband's job. So she came to visit me a few months ago. So, you know, we each take turns visiting each other. So, you know, now it's my turn to go out and visit her. So I'm gonna go out there for a week, you know, and spend time with her and her family. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We have like some crafty things planned. She doesn't knit or sew, but she's really interested in learning how to sew. So I think we're gonna go. She found some sewing place in the neighborhood, so we're gonna go check that out. And she said they have classes, so we're gonna find out about that. And there's this yarn store that I went there the last time I went there, which is this past summer. The store's called Birds of a Feather, and I really enjoyed visiting that store the last time. The owner was just like so nice and welcoming, And, you know, my friend, you know, Gina was there with her 2-year-old, and the lady was like so nice to her. And, you know, Aria had a good time there. She seemed to enjoy being there, and it's just a very relaxing place. And they had like, when we went there, they were doing a class. I thought it was just like a knitting group, but later on I found out that they were doing like a beginner knitting class, and it was just so, it was so nice. Like everybody there was really nice. And some, you know, I overheard like one of the ladies learning how to knit is like, oh, like she had problems with tension. I think she was holding the needles too hard, because she's saying, oh, my hands hurt, and how do you guys do this? And, you know, they're just explaining to her that, you know, over time you'll get better, and then eventually your tension is going to loosen up a bit, and you're not going to have like hand strain as much. And it's just really, it was a really cool place. So, you know, I can't wait to go there, especially since then after I came back home, I went to some yarn shops in New York, and it was just like a completely different experience. So I really like missed that that store in Ohio, and I wish that was here, but oh well. And so yeah, I have some other crafty things lined up. I don't want to say yet what they are. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm Kitty231, like I said. There I'll talk about, you'll see like my latest updates of what I'm doing. If not, I just wait for the next episode. I'm gonna have a recap, and I'm gonna try to record there with my friend and her 2-year-old. So we'll see how it goes. But I definitely want to show you guys like the stuff I knit for her, because I've definitely knit a lot of stuff for her these past 2 years, and you know, I want to show you guys that and talk about it. So, you know, hopefully be a good episode. You guys would check that one out. I forgot to talk about Batman vs Superman, which, you know, when I saw it like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's not as bad. It's not as bad as everybody was saying. I have a lot of comic book friends on Facebook, and I couldn't even go on there without seeing a post about it. And there was like a lot of fighting over this movie. I was like, you know, like, guys, just like chill out. there's no reason. I mean, I know a lot of people were angry about some things that happened in the movie. Not gonna spoil it. But I guess, I mean, some people just didn't like the portrayal of some of the characters. And for me, I just treat it like it's an Elseworld story. Like, it's a story that's not set in the main universe of comics. So it's not, it might not be your Batman or your Superman, but it's a version of them. So that's how I take it. And maybe if you're a big Superman fan, you might not like it, because I definitely heard that. Like, some of my friends who were like crazy about Superman were like so angry with this movie. And I'm definitely more of a Batman girl, so I liked it. You know, I just took it, you know, this Batman's older, and a lot of stuff has happened to him, and so he's just grumpier, you know. That's what happens. You become grumpy old men, and then you just do things that you wouldn't have done when you were younger. So anyway, yeah, I'll probably buy it. I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray. There's supposed to be like a 3-hour edition of it. That's supposedly, they say, is better. We'll see. It definitely could have been better. I mean, the first half was like weird. Like, it's just the editing needed some work, and then at the end, I think it came together. And even though the trailer, if you haven't even watched the trailer, don't watch the trailer, because it gives it all away pretty much, except the ending, which I didn't even see coming. I didn't expect them to do that. So yeah. So you know, I said that I'm going on this trip, and of course, you know, the first thing I think about is not just what I'm, you know, what I'm packing. Is like, you know, what knitting am I gonna have? So that's why part of the reason I cast on those 2 socks. And I might finish 1 sock before my trip. Who knows? So yeah, I'm gonna have like, I'm taking the bus out to Pittsburgh, because of the way the buses run. They don't go directly to Cleveland, or if they do, it's like a really odd hour, and I don't want to do that. So that's going to be like 7.5 hours going there, and then coming home is going to be like 10.5 hours. So I'm going to have a lot of knitting time. So I need to have, you know, a lot of projects on hand. So yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. So yeah, I'm just repeating myself now. So just, you know, find me on Ravelry and on Instagram. I'll put it down there, and my show notes are there. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.